Hey everyone! Today we were going to talk about some Velvet Mermaids, and you will still see them being made on the screen, but we're going to be talking about the clear soap shortage. Say that 5 times fast and with an extra lisp because your jaw is messed up. Try it. Go ahead. Just kidding. Although my jaw is off and I will be lisping a lot tonight. My apologies. Before we jump into the information I have for you, I'd like to say a quick hello to Mr. Soaps and Such.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
That's good.
I'm okay.
That's good to know. So, a little different format for today because I'm literally not talking about anything you'll see up on the screen. Hopefully, I've given you enough text to follow. But because I wasn't planning on doing this today or with this video until I got the last minute information, I'm just hoping I gave you all the information. So if I did not, if there's something missing, you know where to find me. Leave comments, leave your questions in the comment section. Or seek me out in one of the soap groups, or on my page on Facebook or Instagram. So, we've got a lot to talk about. We have been, those of us who use Crafter's Choice and a couple of other brands that are related to them, have been missing our soap. The clear soap has been out of stock for a very long time. It came briefly back in, the premium crystal clear briefly came back in January and was out of stock immediately again, and it keeps saying pending. And many of us love to use that soap base, and some that, like I said, are similar, and we just can't find it. Where is it? Where's the soap? So I reached out to Wholesale Supplies Plus, which they are the manufacturers of Crafter's Choice soaps. And I wanted to get the lowdown for you. And I know a few of the others in the soap groups anyway have gotten some similar information because I recently saw a post. So I think they took the points that they gave me, the talking points, because I did ask permission to make a video talking about this. And they sent me some talking points, and I believe they've sent a few of you the same points. So if you've seen it before, I'm real sorry, but you haven't seen my discussion on it. So hopefully I can have some kind of insight here for you. And what a day to be talking about soap shortage with a lisp. Man, it's hard to not say it. I'm sorry for whistling in your ears. The premium crystal clear is the main concern, but then again, as many of you may have seen, the basic clear, the extra clear, the pro clear, all of these different variations of the clear soaps have been out. So it wasn't just the premium, which is, of course, my favorite. And if you make a lot of soaps with images or designs in it that are really intricate, you really need that clear image, that clear soap to see the image very well. So of course it's been a concern of mine. You guys are watching my tutorials, and many of you are saying, well, how can I get the same soap you're using? Because I bought some in January and have had enough stock to keep going and keep creating soaps with it. Just a few, just enough for a tutorial. And but I can't expect you to follow my tutorials very well if you don't have the same soaps that I do, because they just don't function the same. And I mentioned that I will be doing a few tutorials with some other types of soap as well, and some other ways we can work around it, which I will talk about more toward the end of this video. But for now, I'm going to read to you what I was given to talk about. And I think some of you may be a little bit relieved. I don't know about you, but I had the worst thoughts in my mind when I keep seeing over and over again when I try to order, and it's out of stock. And usually they give you an estimate of when it will be back in stock. And that has been saying pending for the longest time, which is kind of scary because my first thought was they're not going to have it anymore. They're going to get rid of it. They're not going to keep making the same soap that I love. But that is not true. So here we go. These are direct quotes from the company. We've experienced sourcing issues with key ingredients, which has caused us to temporarily pause manufacturing of popular Crafter's Choice soap bases. We are working very hard to resolve these issues and get manufacturing started again as soon as possible. There are no plans to discontinue any of the Crafter's Choice soap bases. That was a hallelujah moment for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Soaps and such can tell you how stressful this has been, not having the soaps available, or just wondering if they weren't going to be available.
Yeah, that changes everything.
Yeah, it sure does. So here, back to my quote here. Okay. Sorry, I lost my place. I'm reading from my phone. Okay, so no plans to discontinue. We are dedicated to doing what is right, even when it costs us more. Think about that for a second. We've had to remain patient through testing of different solutions to find replacements that match the quality of what customers have come to expect out of Crafter's Choice soaps. To me, I'm just going to diverge a second here from reading and just say what I think here for a second. That means that they're not compromising on the quality. And it also sounds like they're not going to be, I mean, this isn't word for word saying, they are not saying they're not going to increase their costs. I don't know. But it sure sounds like they're trying not to. I don't know. Dedicated to doing what is right, even when it costs us more. That means them, I believe. That's the way I'm taking it. What do you think?
Yeah, sounds like they're doing it at their expense.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. And we share in our customers' frustrations. I bet they do. And appreciate patience as we work to get these back in stock. It has been really frustrating for them as well. You have to imagine that this is one of their better selling items. I know they sure seem to sell a lot of it. So I can imagine they're just as frustrated as we are because they've been looking for a replacement for those key ingredients at least since the summertime of 2023. So maybe further back than that. I don't know. And here's my favorite part of what I'm reading out here. We expect to start replenishing inventory of Crafter's Choice soap bases soon. I don't think they would say that lightly, and I don't think they would say that thinking that they're just going to drag out the word soon forever. If you notice that, thinking about that pending that they put on their website. Pending to me is we have no idea. We have no idea when, but soon, sooner rather than later. What do you think?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. They want to keep you on the hook a little bit too. Companies don't want you to give up on them, but they also they're not going to put themselves in some sort of, you told us you did, under promise, over delivers usually what the companies like to do if they can.
Yeah. I don't think they would say soon if they didn't mean. We don't know how long that soon is, but I don't think they would say that if they weren't expecting to start manufacturing again fairly
that would be great
time.
If they were though.
Yeah, because that's the first time I've heard that out of all of the different things I've heard and seen and read. That's the first time I've heard again soon. So I don't know. My thought is pretty positive on that. So I would love for you to tell me what you think in your in the comment section of my video, of this video. Tell me what you think about this statement. Do you think, how soon do you think it's going to be? And we shouldn't be guessing dates and all, but
Why?
What are your thoughts?
Why?
I don't know.
What happens if we guess wrong?
You'll get your prizes taken away. So anyway, I just want to know what your thoughts are on it. And if you're as optimistic about this as me, I'm quite optimistic in seeing that information. I have had, and I've heard some other people say a few things that they didn't have great communication. I've had nothing but really good communication from this company. And anytime I've had an issue, it's been resolved immediately. And I know a few of you seem to think I'm bigger than I am. I've heard a few had some had some responses thinking, well, I've had some responses thinking like that I was influential kind of a thing. I'm very small to start with. I think many of you know me in the soap groups, but I'm in the big world of soap. I'm pretty little.
Let him in.
So I'm sorry. We're letting the cat in again. My grandkitty.
Come on, buddy.
Here's Kimchi. Oh, I don't know if you heard him.
On the last one, I think.
Awesome.
It picked up more than we thought it did. Remember when we were going through?
Yeah.
Because we talk first, then we go back through and listen, and
he had
we didn't know how much it actually did pick up when we said, well, I don't know if it heard it.
Yeah, some things don't pick up, but boy, the kitty, I think he will.
High frequency, I think.
Meow.
Yeah, right, buddy?
You say something? Well, he sniffed to the microphone, so.
That's what they do.
You should feel very honored. Anyway, he's a good boy. So, let me know what your thoughts are on this. And I know I don't need to hear horror stories of what you've dealt with. I know no company is perfect. I am not an affiliate. I am not sponsored by Wholesale Supplies Plus. I have just had personally, and from the time I first started, seriously, nobody knew who I was, and I don't even think they do now, other than I'm that lady who was bugging them to see if I could make a video about the clear soap shortage. But they've treated me quite well, and I have, like I said, I've not received anything. Received no payment, nothing for free, nothing. But I will endorse their materials free of charge at this point. If they ever want to sponsor me, boy, will I happily jump at that. But I am endorsing it because I love the product. I seriously did so much testing and research when I first started. I really was because some of the first soaps I bought, and I'm not going to start naming a bunch of names because I'm not trying to diss any of the other companies. They all have their good points, and they're all good for certain types of things, and it depends on what you're doing. Well, I'm doing soap art, so the clarity to me is, I won't say above all, but it is really important. The quality of the soap on my skin, I'm very sensitive. My skin is crazy sensitive. So it does have to be good quality soap. It just can't be clear and then be really bad soap. I can't deal with that. So, and I wouldn't want my customers to either. The novelty only goes so far. It has to also be a good product, in my opinion. So, I tried, some of the first soaps I tried were a different brand, and they really weren't clear at all. And I kept seeing some of these gorgeous designs, on YouTube, and really wanting to create something that clear. And I tried another brand that was quite clear, although I was saying not quite as clear as Crafter's Choice, but pretty clear. But man, did it set up fast. And you had to heat it really, really hot, and it would melt other things if you're doing embeds. I had a really hard time with that. So, and we will be talking about that soon, because I'm still going to do some of these things that we've talked about, trying other brands for those of you who cannot access Crafter's Choice, because I do know that even when they're in stock, there are some of you who just don't have access to it. They don't sell in the UK. And so there's some other options to look at and other things to keep in mind to learn how to keep your clearest soap that you can access the very clearest, and how to work around it as best you can. Obviously, I have zero control over what you have access to in your own countries. But I would certainly love to help troubleshoot what you do have access to. So that will be coming up in the near future, no matter when the Wholesale Supplies Plus gets their premium crystal clear back in stock. I will still be doing that for some of the other viewers that live outside the U.S. And the some of the other things I plan to explore are creating more opaque designs that are still really cool. There are ways to do it, and I have done it. I tend to lean more heavily on the clear because that's just the way my mind works. I mean, that is what drew me to glycerin soap, was the clarity. I remember being a child and being totally obsessed with Neutrogena soap, face soap. Then it was a glycerin soap bar, and it was clear and it was yellow, amber kind of. I loved that soap, and it did work really well. I liked the product as well, but it was clear. And as a kid, I was just like, oh, that's so cool. So, now I'm making the soap, and would love to keep it clear. But some of you may have seen some of my designs, like my chiffon bonfire soap. There's not a bit of clarity to that soap. Oh, no, that's not completely true. There might be some little clear spots in the fire, in the embers of the fire. That's about it. And I don't even think that's made with the premium crystal clear. So I'm going to talk about some other options of soaps like this, like what I used in there, in a second too. But I just want to mention there's some other designs I can do, like when you do a landscape soap and you cut through the loaf, and you cutting vertically through the loaf, you create create images, and they show as you cut. Excuse me. I don't have a cough button, so I just have to suffer or cough away from the microphone.
So we're leaving that one?
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
Anyway, I want to focus on how to do some really creative looks without any kind of clear soap necessarily. I still might be using some that is transparent-ish or translucent, let's say, because that still gives you a brighter color. If you're using a purely opaque soap, like let's say goat milk soap, that's going to be white, and you add mica to it, you now have a pastel soap. No matter how much you add, it's going to be really hard to get anything but pastel with a white opaque soap or tan opaque soap, anything like that. So we will be also doing some things with less clear soap, let's say, but it's still translucent, and using those brighter mica colors to be really saturated. And I know you can really accomplish some beautiful swirls that way. Mixing a translucent soap and an opaque soap can get you some beautiful, beautiful looks, because some light does come through, or can, depending on how much mica you add. Anyway, so that is part of the plan that I have. And I'm going to make some recommendations too on some other soaps that, now I haven't checked today or yesterday, but as of a couple of days ago, they were still in stock at Crafter's Choice. And these are some things you might want to consider in other, if you purchase from other companies. I'm not trying to necessarily sway people what company they purchase from. Just trying to give options for you. And then we'll talk a little bit more about why I particularly prefer the Crafter's Choice too. But they're aloe and olive soap. They have two different kinds. They have a detergent free and they have a premium. They're both lovely and they're both pretty clear. The aloe and olive detergent free isn't as clear as the premium, but they did have that in stock. It is a little yellow, a very little yellow. So you could use that for so many things, and it really doesn't even distort the color of, if you were to use mica, that's a got a pretty decent saturation of color to it, it's really not going to distort that because I've used it. I used it in my, oh goodness, now I can't think of it. The agate soaps that I made from the embeds we made while we were using the heat gun. When I made that, most of what I used was the aloe and olive soap because it's really quite clear. I did put a coat of clear on the top. And it looks like I'm just trying to keep an eye on time because I am timing this to our little mermaids we have going on here. And I think I'm still doing okay because I'm scraping the tops now. I'm just trying to get a little bit more clarity from what is in the mold. And you'll see a little bit of that. Not a whole lot, though.
They're cool looking, though.
Thank you. Yeah, they came out really neat. I did, for the record, I did come back and scrape off more of the design before I took the pictures in the final scene. So you'll see a difference there. But the aloe and olive is good, both premium and detergent free. The detergent free clear is somewhat clear. It's cloudy, so you can't expect it to look like the premium crystal. The wine soap, the honey apple ice wine, whatever it's called, the premium, that's fairly clear. It's also yellow, and I would say it's more yellow than the aloe and olive. But if you're doing a soap that is based in teals and greens and yellows and oranges or peaches, anything that can mix with a yellow, you just leave that part. You alter your colors a little bit. If you want peach and you have a yellowish soap, you add a pink to it, and that's going to give you a peach tone. You look at your color wheel and just kind of subtract the yellow out, and what can I get? I mean, purple may not work quite as well, but if you add a lot of mica, it might. I don't know. We'll do some experimenting and we'll do some designing together in the very near future with some of these soaps. I particularly love that honey apple ice wine soap. It really is a lovely soap. That wine gives it a nice lather, and it's just good. Feels good on my skin anyway. So that's that. We will. Those are two recommendations I have for you, or three actually: the aloe and olive, the detergent-free clear, and the apple honey ice wine. Those are just what comes off the top of my head from Crafter's Choice. Now I know you all have other companies that some of you purchase from, and let me tell you why I tend to shy away from a lot of them. Is because of the melting point and the open time. Doing intricate designs, I really like to have the soap stay liquid as much as possible without overheating it, which actually gives you the opposite effect. But still, it happens sometimes when we're heating up and heating up and heating up again because the soap keeps going solid on us. And I've got to say this, of all of the soaps I've tried, that's one of the biggest selling points to me beyond the clarity, is that it stays open much longer than other soaps. And if you've been using other brands and you haven't tried it, I think you'll be quite surprised. So that is my other point of, I'm going to say there's 3 points, but my second point of why I really am thrilled about them not stopping the manufacture of this soap, because it really does help with the design work. I can't do the marbled soaps I do and some of the other really intricate designs without altering my either the design or my implementation of it, my techniques some way. And it doesn't mean that I won't have to someday down the road, but I certainly am glad I don't have to do that right now. We will also be discussing and this is personal. I can't really tell you what's going to be best for you, but the third point is, what does it feel like? What does it feel like on your skin? And that's so different for everybody. Some people really don't like the premium types, or some people don't like the detergent free, and certain brands you like better than others. And you have to keep trying different brands until you find one you like. I'll frequently hear people, how do I make my soap more moisturizing or less drying? That's what does it do to your skin? You have to just try a variety of types and brands rather than adding oils that are just going to eat up your lather. It looks like we are at the end of this soap. The directions are hopefully there. Like I said, please, hit me up with questions for this. It's the basic crushed velvet technique that we took from the world of resin, and this is what I'm showing you here on the screen now. I thought I'd put up a couple of pictures of my other resin soaps. So there's no resin involved. They were actually called not resin soaps. But this is some of the things I've done with that technique. And all I did with this one is use it more as a background for the design that was already in the mold, like that. So I hope you got something out of this, and hooray for the possibility of getting our soap back. Thanks.
Bye.